Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Toon Terraces with myself, Michael, and I'm joined tonight with Duncan. Hello, Duncan. How are we doing?
Hello, mate. Not too bad. Yourself?
Yes. We won't cover over Tottenham too much, but you weren't on the previous show, so
Yep.
what were your quick thoughts on the demolition of Tottenham?
I thought it was incredible. I did miss the first 8 minutes, so when I got in, I had to kind of scrub the screen a bit because I thought that can't be right. That can't be 3-0. But yeah, obviously I've watched the highlights probably 2 or 3 times now, and just it was savage, wasn't it? It was so fast. It was lethal. I think is a good way to describe it. And you wouldn't believe that they were two teams that are going for the same sort of Champions League spot. I mean, the gulf in the two teams was just
the most expensive load of rubbish I've ever seen at St James's Park, and that's saying something. And going from one extreme to the other, we now face Everton, who have their own problems, well noted for their financial straits that they're in, and also the league position that they are in. What's your thought? That's Mark. Our producer Mark absolutely loves that clip, and he doesn't need any explanation for wanting to put it up, so he just does. So apologise if anyone's got something caught out with that. I certainly did. Yes, Everton. What do you make of Everton then so far this season? I mean, have they picked up any since Dyche came in?
I don't think they have. So I've just got the form guide here off the Premier League website. So they're not coming in. They've not had a win in 5. So they've drawn with Palace, lost with Fulham, lost with Man United, drawn with Spurs, and drawn with Chelsea. So they're desperate for a win. So I don't think they have picked up. Obviously, we know our form guide is good. So I think it will be a Newcastle win. Historically, I think they've always been tight. 1-0s. I think recently, I think the last time we played them, there was a few more. There's a few more than 2 goals. So I would say it's always a tough game going to Everton. I was listening to TalkSport today with the interview with Bruno and Joe.
Yeah,
and they touched on it, and they said, 100% it's going to be a tough game. So I think if they underprepare, they might get caught out. But if they stick to Eddie's plan, I can see a 1 or 2-0 away win for Newcastle.
Oh, cool. But focusing on Everton a little bit, I mean, they had Calvert-Lewin come back. He hasn't seemed to make a lot of difference, does it, if he plays or not? I know he's not played much, and that might be beat harsh. But I mean, who are we expecting to face tomorrow? Do you think he'll start, or?
I think he's got to change something about the way that they're lining up. And I mean, if he's certainly not the Dominic Calvert-Lewin of last season. I had him in my fantasy football team last season. He was a good point scorer, a good goal scorer, but I think he's obviously been drilled down in the last 12 months, and he's not as confident in front of goal. I would say he'll no doubt start with him up front, but I mean, I've not really seen too much of Everton on TV, so I don't know what their normal kind of starting lineup would be. I've got the squad here, but there's not many. If I'm looking at from a fantasy football point of view, there's not many players here that I would be looking at. Jordan Pickford's the only one really, but obviously he's going to start.
Yeah. I mean, he started picking Michael Keane, hasn't he? He's been back in the team, and obviously one of his old players, and he's obviously got Tchaikovsky. If only he's got him in, and he's got
he's been playing quite well actually. Yeah, so to be fair, he's been playing quite well.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
McNeil as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's picking players that he knows, which makes sense. I mean, the only one I can think of really that stands out, which is maybe because we share his surname, is Gray, Demarai Gray, obviously. Yeah. And Iwobi, he looked like he was going to really push. He looked like the only player that Frank Lampard had really done anything to, and then he's kind of backed off a bit. So I mean, I suppose they're going to just want to keep it tight. I mean, it must frighten them to death having us rock up at this stage of the season after what we've done on Sunday.
Yeah, 100%, and that they are struggling, as we said. I mean, it's difficult to say. Teams that you don't follow, intently, it's hard to say. I mean, just looking, I think you're right with Demarai Gray, Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin. I think really, those guys are the ones that we need to that we need to look out for. And then obviously the goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford always gets a great reception.
Oh, he always
from
does,
Newcastle fans.
Yeah. So
I don't see any threats in that team.
No. So turning to us, obviously, there's a chance or a rumor that Fab Shah's going to be out tomorrow, and what you're just saying then about him being pretty toothless up front. I mean, is he going to be a big miss if he is missing, or do you think it's Eddie Kidology as usual?
I think he will be missed, but he's I think we've got a decent backup in Jamal. I know he's not played great this season, but I think he's more than capable of stepping in. I think Fabian Schär has been playing exceptionally well this season. Assists, goal line clearances, chances created. I think he scored 3 goals this season, hasn't he? Some absolute, belters. And then just, if I think back to the last game that I was at St James's Park, the way that he played against that Man United team, he had a couple of, he had a header off the bar. I think he gets knocked out in every game, poor sod, because he's just always amongst it.
He likes putting his head in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he throws himself in front of anything. So I think he will be missed. Yeah, 100% he will. I think we've got a good backup, but I do think that's an area that we need to look at in the summer as well. We need to,
I think everyone pretty much expects that to happen. We've got a predicted lineup there that producer Mark's put up. I don't know if you can you see it or not.
Yeah,
which has the familiarity of the back four that we've come to know and love. Apart from obviously, like you said, Lascelles coming in for. So
would Trippier would still be captain, or would Lascelles?
Well, that's a very good point. I would have thought that Jamal would be captain, so because he is captain, isn't he? So I mean. But I mean, are you surprised to see Burn there? I mean, are you surprised that Target still is on the back burner?
I think Botman's. I think Burn's been playing well. I think people have forgotten how good Target was at that, kind of Andy Robertson, Kieran Trippier kind of role, but just on the other side, running up on the overlap. And putting a cross in. I think he scored a goal last season as well, didn't he? Target as well.
Yeah.
But he's a very attacking midfielder. But then Burn, sometimes, I've noticed when I'm sitting in the Gallowgate, I've noticed that the team, sometimes when Trippier's running up on the overlap, that we've almost got like a back three, like those 3 big lads kind of playing a spaced out back three. So, so far, I mean, it's working. Obviously, it's working. But I think I'd like to see either an improved Matty Target in there, or a proper left wing back like the Arsenal lad Kieran Tierney.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's another position that there's going to be that people talk a lot about, that maybe in the summer that we will try and invest in. I mean, we've got Longstaff, Bruno, and Willock. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's
I think Willock's playing great at the moment, isn't it? I know.
What a game he had on Sunday!
That's terrific, absolute cracking pass,
disgusting.
He deserves that Brazilian kind of remake of his name. But they were talking about call ups on Talk Sport and for England and things like that. I think he's a little bit off that when you look at the England midfield, but he certainly deserves his place. Bruno and Joe Linton definitely. I think Longstaff's had a bit of a resurgence as well. I think he's, he runs all day, doesn't he, Longstaff?
Oh, God,
picked up. And then Murphy, I can't argue with Murphy either. That game against Spurs was fantastic. And Isaac, he's an informed striker. I think he's averaging a goal every 90 minutes, which is perfect. That's exactly what that's what you want. And then the interchange with Wilson, so you can either play the 2 or you can haul one off and bring one on, when they're getting a bit leggy if you're winning. So, I think it's a great squad at the minute. And the team kind of, it's one of those good teams that doesn't pick itself. And he's doing a bit of a Gareth Southgate. He's picking players on form. Not on their name, which is sometimes unusual. So, I'd like to see Anderson get a bit of time in there. But I think it's a good, informed squad, which is what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's good not to have to rely on Gordon, because I think that would have been just a bit too much to expect from him tomorrow night. Do you agree with that?
Against his old club.
I mean, the way he left, I mean, there's not a lot of players who get a lot of love when they go back to a club anyway, but the way he left it wasn't pleasant, was it? I don't think he'll come on at all if they can avoid it, really.
I think. So, I mean, knowing the team, I think if they can avoid it, if they can go 3-0 up, yeah. But also, maybe if they do go 3-0 up, they might bring him on. He, I think they're professional footballers. I don't think he would be frightened to come on. I think he'd enjoy it. But he's kind of doing what he did with Bruno.
Yeah.
He's not just because he's that much money putting him straight in the team, doing it bit by bit. Yeah. And, look how that worked out for Bruno. So I kind of think that's the process with Gordon. It's not just start every game or don't start every game. Like when Joe Linton wasn't doing too well, Brucey just dropped him, for £40 million player and stopped working on him. So I think it'd be good if he come on. I think it would be it'd be testing for him, but I like the way he's bringing him on, giving him a bit of time.
Yeah, he looked really good on Sunday. I mean, it's funny what you're saying about Willock not getting a chance for England. Of course, we found out that Mason Mount is actually not going to see the rest of the season out now. So maybe Willock does stand a chance. Who knows? So, and you did have a prediction, didn't you? What did you say it was going to be?
I think, looking back over the previous games on the Premier League website, so it's been 1-0 to us, and then 3-1 to us, just at St James's Park. So I think it will be. I don't think it'll be like the Spurs game. Might be, you don't know, but I don't think it'll be like the Spurs game.
Yeah,
I think
get Everton, $5 on that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think Everton are desperate for some points because they are looking in real danger. So I don't think they're going to come out like we did against Spurs. I think they're going to be modest, modest in their approach, but defensive in their their application. So I would say, if it goes our way, 1 or 2-0. And it might be a 1-1 at a time or a 2-1, 1-1 for a period of time, and then we nick a winner and 2-1. So 1-0 or 2-1, I think is a fairly, mediocre kind of game that we just take away the points, win ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I think it's going to be 3-1. I think I agree with you about Spurs. I just think we're on. He might get on again. He pull that phase again. I think if he scored, I think it's going to be 3-1 because I think we're just going to have just too much for them, and our tails are well up. So I think it's going to be. I think they're going to try and make it hard, but I think we're going to make a lot lighter work than we would have done if we hadn't have absolutely smashed Spurs on the. At the weekend. Anyway, it's a short one from us tonight, so we shall be back. I would have thought to do the Southampton game. I'm not sure what night that'll be. That'll be Friday or Saturday, so please do check out when it's going to be on. And thank you all for joining us, and speak to you all soon.
Thanks.